So who wants to take a stab at the Potomac first? Chris, do you want to go ahead?
I'm going to be haunted by the phrase poo geyser for as long as I know.
We like puns around here.
I mean, look, I don't think that people who haven't spent time here understand how gigantic the bureaucracy is and how often it does stuff like this. There's always a tendency, and I get it, it's politics, but there's always a tendency to be like, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. And the truth of the matter is, it's like exactly you said. You're like, oh my God, like 7 years ago we could have solved this, because there are so many systems that feel like they're from the 40s that and they are, exactly, that are still like governing how we do it. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that that's the case, but it is depressing about how our government works, or in truth, how it doesn't work all that well.
Yeah, Rob, a big problem with not just this situation, but generally the way that the environment is handled by the federal government is the Endangered Species Act. In this case, they had concerns about a few bats that were in the area, some trees, and now we have hundreds of millions of gallons spewed into the river, affecting all kinds of species, not to mention human beings. So do we need to reform the Endangered Species Act to allow for some common sense rather than the bureaucracy?
It's a great point. I mean, the waters of the United States, there are any number of regulations that our country, whether it be at the federal level or the local level, that impede these common sense repairs that should be done. Katie, I mean, we have gone from a society that built they built the Empire State Building in 1 year and 45 days, built the Golden Gate Bridge in record time, and now we can't repair a pipe in Washington, D.C. It's sad. It's truly sad.
Lori, this is a big problem given that our infrastructure around the country is having these issues where these local jurisdictions and others and other offices are warning these things are going to fall apart. This is the worst sewer spill in the history of the country. Damage is going to be significant, already is, requires a lot of cleanup. So does there need to be some reform and cooperation between these governments in order to make sure that we can actually get our infrastructure back on track?
Absolutely. And this seems to me like it was a budget allocation failure, like someone kept kicking the can down the road. And, Muriel Bowser, who's not running for re-election, she's not up in this most recent election that's coming up. She's been there throughout this whole entire time, so I'm going to put a lot of the blame on her. Sorry, Bowser. But I think that she had a lot to do with this. This is a D.C. issue, and when you're trying to claim, no taxation without representation, we need our own statehood, and you can't even keep the city clean. Yeah, everyone's shaking their head. I spent a lot of time on the Potomac River, and I wouldn't go in it with a 10-foot pole right now. So it's endangering animals, it's endangering people, it's hazardous as you're opening. It's bad news.
It's unacceptable.
So it's absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. And I'll just say, where was the Park Service when the East Wing was being torn down?
What about those environmental?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of another calamity, I will say, pivoting to the Newsoms, Gavin Newsom's wife Jennifer has some interesting parenting advice in a resurfaced interview that's gaining attention. She, of course, goes by the title of First Partner of California. Take a listen to what she had to say.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she.
So, Lori, Democrats have this very serious problem with male voters leaving and never wanting to come back. Seems like the woman who may be on the campaign trail for president next to Gavin Newsom in 2028 should not be saying these things or taking this position if Democrats are trying to get those voters back into the party.
I think what we heard there on the B-roll was not in line with the average American. And I brought this book here because this book highlights women that made first. You don't have to necessarily change the characters in books. You can highlight Nellie Bly, the first reporter, Nancy Wake, the first spy. You can purchase and teach your kids about books, but I think where it starts, Katie, is in the home. About how you treat women, how you respect women, how you honor them, how you treat them as equal partners. It starts in the home, and I think that that's where this lies, is with children. That's where they're learning good examples or bad examples.
I'm 100% with that. Very quick side note. I hate when the first spouse refers to them, unless you're the president. Okay. And Like Casey DeSantis would always say, like, she wanted to be called the First Lady
of Florida.
You
don't like that?
No, man. And the same thing with the first partner or whatever. Like, whatever. Like, it's the First Lady. I'm not even a huge, like, second lady or second gentleman fan.
Okay.
Anyway,
Emhoff, yeah.
This is dumb. This is dumb. When you are running for president, and let's be honest, Gavin Newsom is running for president, right? I mean, no, he's announced for president, but trust me, he's running, right? You can't have that, especially because the attack on Newsom is going to be, it's not that complicated. Do you know what Gavin Newsom did before he was the governor of California? He was the mayor of San Francisco. And there'll be a lot of people, maybe not in the Democratic primary, but there'll be a lot of people in a general election, if he's nominated, who'll be like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to avoid that. Again, whether Democrats like it or not, and they will do well in the 2026 election for other reasons that I'm not going to go into, but whether they like it or not, many Americans who do not live on the coast view the Democratic Party as weak and woke. And for everything Donald Trump is, he is not weak or woke. That is why Donald Trump sits in the White House and Kamala Harris does not, and Gavin Newsom won't if that's the view.
Rob, a lot of the time when people run for president, their spouse is usually seen as something of an asset who can help them get to the White House. Is she a liability in this case?
Oh, I think so, and I think there might be a strategy on Newsom's part to get these embarrassing clips out early, so that
people forget about them.
It doesn't hurt him closer. Yeah. But Katie, it's important what Chris said. I mean, Gavin Newsom has gone for months now trying to be this macho man and bully, saying he was going to punch Donald Trump in the face, making a crude sexual reference about him when he went to Davos. I mean, so. Maybe his wife needs to actually have a conversation with him about toning down some of his language, but his record is just so abysmal in California. I think that these are the types of distractions that might benefit.
Can I just one quick Gavin Newsom point? One thing that annoys me is people are like, Gavin Newsom, he's so authentic. And I'm like, Gavin Newsom's first of all, just in terms of who you choose as spouses, I'll remind people Gavin Newsom was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Yes.
Right?
A lot of people
and now is married to his current wife.
You're going way back in the
it's in the way back machine, but it did happen, number one. Number two, the 2024 election happens. Gavin Newsom, right after the 2024 election, still basically running for president at that point, says, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to have a podcast where I talk to people I disagree with. He talks to the late Charlie Kirk. He talks to Steve Bannon. That wasn't working. Then he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be the guy who takes on Trump. Like, give me a break, man. Like, this is
he needs
like
to pick a lane,
Newsom
right, Lori?
4.0.
Yeah, but you know what also bothers me? Sorry, Katie, but we give this guy way too much airtime. And it seems that he's all we're talking about as a candidate for the Democratic Party. And I wish that we would highlight or bring other people onto the show if they would agree.
I'm sure we will, and we will try. But before we go, I want to talk about this because it is Easter Sunday. On Sunday, today is Good Friday. Young people are finding great ways to spend their Sundays. They're going to church. They go and they meet people. Service has doubled since 2020, specifically in Gen Z millennial Catholicism. Rob, you are on your way. You're not a Gen Zer,
not Gen Z,
but I think Catholics will take you. So you're the perfect person to talk about this phenomenon.
Oh, it's truly amazing, and we've seen it in our parish. I mean, this is a long process, Katie. I mean, the order for Christian initiation for adults, for me, it started last May, and so I mean, it's a real commitment that Catholics and these individuals who want to convert to Catholicism have made. I think it's a hunger for the truth, first and foremost, at least in my case. And it's the belief that Jesus Christ made a sacrifice for all of us, and we want to have that eternal life in heaven with him. And so I am thrilled by the news, and I hope that I wish and pray for all the people who are coming into the church this Easter.
All right. Well, happy Easter to all of you.
Happy Easter.
Yes, great to see you. Thanks for coming in, Laura, Chris, and Rob. Thank you for joining us tonight.